Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, which is a very different video, I'm going to go into how I was living on $120,000 in a year in Malmo, Sweden. And again, this is normally a stock market investment channel, but I want to try different things. So if you like this, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, you subscribe, and you let me know what you think. The reason why I do this video is because I want to show you guys how an investor thinks about their spendings and how I spend my money and what are my thoughts around it. And I think that it's very important for families or individuals to really audit their costs and see where their money is going and think correctly about it. So I hope you learn about it. I want to go into what happened to me, why, and how I'm planning to do in 2023 and use the gains to invest more into stocks and other investments. So in 2022, it has been a pretty good year for me, but we have had a lot more costs in the family than it was planned. And I actually started tracking where our money is going in the beginning of this year. Actually, in the very end of 2021, I started. And I, looking at this, came to the conclusion that it's very stupid to try and save money, and it's really not what I'm trying to do, as you will see from this. And I want to go into what I'm planning to do in 2023. So because you all want to know how we live, it's not very sexy. This is the car that I drive. It's not the car, but this is the type of car that I drive. If you follow the channel, you know that I'm a real estate investor and a developer, and I have a company with two other guys where we are building about 250 units in 4 different projects in South Sweden. And this company has grown exponentially in the last couple of years. And Grant Cardones made a joke about that real estate investors are very asset rich and they're always broke in the wallet. And this is kind of true. In my company, the hardest thing is always planning with the cash. And even though we have very nice assets, it's right now we are in a condition where it's has always been very strict. Anytime we get money, it has to be planned for many years ahead because we don't know when other projects, finish, and you have to have margins. So I have this 6-year-old car now, and it's working very beautifully. I bought it new for $15,000, super cheap. It's probably worth $3,000 now. And I can't find a good reason to change it because it takes me everywhere where I want to go. It has a super low gas mileage. It hasn't broken down. And even though sometimes I feel like it's embarrassing to have this car, but this is the car that I have. My wife drives a electric Nissan Leaf. This was the safest car for the family. The funny thing is, I got this car because the Tesla Model 3 didn't come out on time in Sweden and our lease was up. And I had to get a new car, so I settled for the second best. And this car is also around 5-year-old now, and I'm having the same problem. It's just working, it's very cheap to operate, and I can't find a good reason why we need to change it. We rent a house near Malmo with a beautiful view. I also did videos about this. There is a very big reason why I rent a house, and I actually don't want to own my home. I think it's stupid to own your own home. And the house that we rent is a house that I could afford now, but for a very long time, basically when I moved in, there was no way that I could have afford to buy that house. We live very close to one of the nicest beaches in Sweden. And from our patio, you can see the Öresund Bridge, which is the bridge that you see here on the screen. And to the left of us, you can see Malmo's silhouette, and to the right of us, you can see the capital of Denmark, Copenhagen. We have insanely beautiful views. The house is, I'm counting very roughly, probably, or the apartment, I should say, is probably around 1,800 square feet. And we are living very nicely. So I just wanted to show this. So now we're going to go into the costs and how we lived in 2022, and I'm curious what you think. The reason why I am doing this is because obviously I want to know where the money is going and I want to save. I have 2 kids. And I'm going to show you why it's super stupid to try to save money and what you should try to do instead. But let's go through it. So our biggest expense in the year, by the way, this app that I'm using is called Money Coach. It exists on the Mac and on the iPhone. I've been nothing but happy with it. It's very fast to, type in what we spend on, and it gives you different graphs and, super many things. Very, very happy with it. And then when you have given it enough data, this is showing the whole year, and it shows in subcategories and so on and so on. So everything here that you see is in Swedish crowns, and just to keep it very simple, 10 Swedish crowns is $1. So everything that you see here, you can see that we have almost spent 1 million Swedish crowns. So that is almost spent $100,000 US. So you can see our biggest expense has been food, which has been 242,000 Swedish krona, or 24,000 US. And as I said, you can click on it and you can see what we spent on groceries, what we spent on supplements, and what we spent dining out. So the whole year we spent $2,000 on dining out, which I think is very, very reasonable. We spent $4,000 on supplements, and here you could argue that that's a lot of money on supplements. But I came to the conclusion that when I don't take supplements, I feel tired, and then, my production is not at a very high level, and then in the end, I end up losing money. So me and my wife made this rule that on the supplements, even if we, don't have money and need to buy them on credit cards, we still do it because it's so much important for me to, sleep good, digest good, and have the maximum amount of energy. So then we have the next cost was the housing, and that was mostly the rent for this place, and it was $16,000 or $1,200 per month. And by the way, this is insanely a cheap deal. One of the reasons why it's so cheap is because my wife's mother is living in one of the rooms, so we divide the rent into 3. But the house is so big that it's like her separate apartment, and we share a kitchen. And because we have 2 small kids, it's actually amazing help with the kids. And we looked at it many times, that this deal is basically, with the location that we have, is insane. I mean, we pay 1,800 square meters, very close to a beach, insanely beautiful, very expensive area, and we have $1,400 a month or $1,500 a month in rent. I'm very, very happy with it. Then this is one indulgence that we had. We have had 4 vacations. We had a skiing with our kids. Then we went to Croatia for 2 weeks, again with the kids, and visited my parents in Hungary. So it was like a Euro trip. Then me and my wife went to London to celebrate our anniversary. And then we booked and paid for a new ski trip for the new year. So this was $15,000 spent on vacations. And then we have finance costs, and this is what I have paid on my own loans. And as you know, if you follow this channel, you know that my story is that I was not buying a house because I had to take loans to save my company and put this money into the company. It did turn out to be a very good story, because I have gotten a valuation of more than more than 8 figures on the company. I don't want to disclose how much, but it turned out to be very nice. But I still am paying for these debts. Then, we have general costs of $8,000. That's basically pocket money that between me and my wife, it's money that, we get, and then we do whatever the F we want to do with it. Then education, $5,000 almost. You can see that the tuition is actually very small on this, because the schools are very cheap in Sweden. I think this is even not book kept on the correct account. Yes, as I can see, the tuition was probably $3,000, and the rest is, it's very important for us that the kids get the best education, so we pay for a lot of sports and anything where they need extra help, we pay for it. And this is also non-negotiable in the family, because if you think education is expensive, try stupidity. Another one of Grant Cardones' very true and good old sayings. Then we spent $2,000 on health, and this has been, a dentist, chiropractor, and again, this could also be a little bit overdriven for Europeans because healthcare should be free. For Americans, this is probably like, oh my God, did you have a flu and have to go to the hospital? The point is that whenever I feel I have pains in the body, I just go to the chiropractor, which is not for free here. And again, this is one of those things. I can't work if I'm in pain, and if I can't work, even if it costs $50 or $60 to go to the chiropractor, I don't care because my production is very, very important to me. Then the rest of the costs are very, very negligible. We spend $2,000 on clothing, $15,000 on personal, which I think is cosmetics for the wife, hairdressing, nails. So sports, a car. This is basically because the company is paying for the car, and I'm only paying for the charging of the electric car that my wife has, and that was $1,000 for the whole year. Again, bargain of the century. So, what did I learn from this? What do I think about this? By the way, there's no taxes in this. This is why I said $120,000, because I am paying about 20-something% in taxes. So that I can take this money home after taxes, it was about $120,000 that I have to report as income. And because I'm an investor and have my real estate company, I have a structure of different companies. And this was not all my income, but what's really nice when you have these structures is I decide how much money I tax. So let's say that if I make $500,000, it goes to my holding company, and then I can decide that if I would just leave it in the holding company, it would be zero tax because of whatever Swedish laws. It's very, very nice, by the way. But if I want to take that money out privately, then I have to tax it. But the nice thing is that I decide how much I'm taking out. And this is why I started tracking the expense, because I wanted to live on less than this. I was aiming for about 80,000 krona in the year, and we came in at 100,000, so 20% over than I had. And so why was that? One of that was obviously inflation, and I at first didn't believe my wife, and we had some fights, and then I took over the family shopping. And then I realized that no, unfortunately, inflation is here, and we have to cut back on things if I want to fit into this 80,000. So this is where I looked at it. Okay, where can we rationalize and what can we do? So on food, again, you might think that this is expensive on food, but we eat organic food, and my wife has different allergies, and if she's very sensitive, if we don't eat the right food, then we have to take her to the hospital with her allergies. And I kind of personally like it also that, the kids get the best food that they get. We take a lot of supplements. So this is not something where I feel that is sensible or we can even cut down on, right? Then the housing, as I said already, it's a very, very good deal. Don't wanna and cannot cut down on this, Travel, we could cut down. But the problem is that it motivates me when I know that we have these trips booked in. It makes me work that much harder, and I make super good memories with the family. And to be honest, I feel if we would cut down and we would only take 2 trips and not 4 trips, I would lose a lot of motivation in work. I have been making this company for working at it for 8 years. We have gone through very, very tough times, and I feel that I didn't want to come to this point to, not enjoy what I have created. So this is not something that we can cut down, right? Then my finance cost, that's definitely something, because if I could get enough money out, I could just pay back all these loans, and this category would just, $10,000 would come back, right? But when you look at the yearly when you look in the yearly picture, this is about 10% or 12% of our yearly budget, right? Then for sure on the general we could cut. I think it would be tough, but let's say we could cut to maybe $2,000-3,000 we could save, which is 2-3% again if you look at the annual. Then you look at the kids' education, non-negotiable, health, non-negotiable, gifts. We could definitely cut down on. This is, by the way, because I bought some Apple products. My dad had the 60th birthday and he has been supporting me a lot. So I'm pretty sure this year it's not going to be this much. But we could cut down a few $1,000s. And again, if we would really rape ourselves, demotivate ourselves, not travel, eat shit food, and, do a bunch of other things, maybe I could go 10-15% down on this budget. So we could go down to, 85,000. But this is where I think saving is stupid. Grant Cardones says something that is very true to me. 5% of your attention needs to be on saving money, and 95% of your attention needs to be on making more income. And this is also what I see. The amount of work that it would take me to save 15% of the family income, which would be a lot of time and effort, because I would have to search for coupon codes on food, and we would have to plan this, and and all this time would go into trying to save money and not on trying to earn more income, right? It would demotivate me. And the same amount of time I could use to just increase my income, do more YouTube videos, work more in my real estate company, and I could, maybe double or triple my income. And this is exactly what me and my wife agreed on. So we are trying to not increase the cost from here. We're not trying to take more vacations. We are not into expensive cars. This is why I don't want to change up the car. Instead of buying a 60,000 Tesla, we can take just, more or better family vacations with the kids, which make me, lifetime memories, and the same with the kids. And in 2023, I'm planning to make, or aiming for making, at least 5 times as much as the family needs. And I want to use, obviously, one part of it to pay down the debts. So, the debts go out of the family planning, but the rest I want to use to aggressively invest into stocks. My 2 favorite, Tesla and Palantir, and please markets stay down so I can have these amazing prices. I mean, Tesla, I don't know if it's going to go back down to 104. And yeah, so let me know if this video was interesting. Let me know if you're a new viewer to the channel and why you clicked on this video. I know you were just being nosy. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know if this was, again, helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.